Hands to the floor, right knee back to center, back to tabletop. Second side, circle the left knee back and forward. And try to find some nice big, nice slow circles. So get a nice range of motion in the left hip. All right, come on back to neutral. Extend your left knee high like a fire hydrant style. Extend left heel out. Drop the inner arch of your foot down. Walk your fingertips forward, puppy dog pose. And feel that stretch in the outer strip of the leg. So press out through the outer edge of your left foot. So sole of the foot down, hips stay nice and high. Breathe well. Walk your hands back towards you. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, stay long through the sideways. Reach over to your left. Soften your shoulders down, draw the low belly in. Inhale back through center, right hand drops to the floor, left arm stays nice and high, gate pose or modified side plank. Stay here, continue to push the floor away, stay long through the underside of the ribs or left leg lifts. Last option, variation, Shavasana, sugar cane pose. Find a little back bend. Open your heart, kick back. Then exhale, release. Foot releases down to the floor, arms rise up. Hands to the floor, back to tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Find that perfect upside down V. Staying long from the heels of the hands all the way to the outer hips. Press it back, chest towards your thighs. Inner thighs roll in as you soften your heels towards the floor. Find a little bend in the knees, just so the low back stays long. Pedal out your feet or stay still. Stay here for 3 full breaths. So in and out through your nose. Hug in at the base of the throat. Good. And then soften at the jaw. Relax your neck. Take 1 more breath here. Inhale forward to plank pose. Take shoulders over your wrists. Wiggle your toes back so they're right in line with your heels. Press back, downward facing dog. In your plank pose, keep your legs engaged, your arms engaged. Push the floor away. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more time. Inhale forward to plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Inhale forward plank pose. We're going to lower down to the forearms. Now, I didn't say this before, but if you're needing a little support from the earth, lower the knees down towards the floor. So forearm plank. Forearms are parallel. Spread your fingers wide. We're going to drop the hips over to the right and hold. So a little hip dip to the right. Hover and hold. And notice all the weight maybe moving over to the right forearm. See if you can even that weight distribution out, left and right forearm. Inhale to center. Exhale, hover and hold left. Then bring a little more weight to the right forearm. Should feel some shoulder work here. Inhale, center. 1 more time each side. Hover, hold right. Inhale, center. Hover and hold to the left. Inhale back through center. Lower belly to the ground. Forearms stay just as they are. Shoulders right over your elbows. Spread fingers wide. Lengthen your toes back. Hips distance apart. Sphinx pose. A little back bend here. So push the forearms into the floor. Reach the crown of the head forward. Pull your heart forward. A little back bend. Sphinx pose. And then exhale, release. Slide your hands right by your ribs. Hug your elbows in. Push the floor away. High cobra. Stay or tops of the feet press down. Hover the thighs. Up dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Step or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Standing forward fold. All right, feet hips distance apart. Hands to the shins. Rise up halfway lift. Exhale, soften your knees. Little bend and fold forward. Grab opposite elbows. Ragdoll here. Find a little tuck of the chin, a little shake of the neck so the back of the neck stays long. Good. Breathe well in and out through your nose. Release your hands down, nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Roll up to stand. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Interlace your 10 fingers, flip your palms, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, side bend to your right. So feet are still hips distance apart. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, up and over to the left. And inhale back, hands to your low back, supported back bend. Press your hips forward, lift your heart, open your chest, gaze back. Exhale, slide your hands down the backs of your legs, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, find some length. Exhale, fold, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Inhale and plank, exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. Knees are always welcome on the floor. Upward facing dog with the thighs lifted, or if you want to stay low, cobra pose. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Stay for a breath here. Refine your pose, so push the floor away, lift your hips, inhale. Exhale, chest back, heels down. Twice more like that, we flow. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Root down, sweep your arms wide, rise to stand. Connect your palms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's flow with our breath. No rush, no hurry. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant your palms, step or hop back. If you hop back, skip high plank, lower chaturanga. Or land in chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward. One more time. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Arms sweep wide and overhead. Connect your palms, draw thumbs to the center of the heart. Last time, inhale, reach up, look up. Tailbone goes down as arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to high plank or jump back to chaturanga. So if you're in plank, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, chest up, shoulders back, up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. So stay for an extra breath here. Downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, feet to hands, big toes touch. Find a little space between the heels. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, bring your weight back to the heels, sit your hips down. Inhale, arms rise up. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Sit back, nice and low. Soften your shoulders down. Draw the low ribs in. Good. Start to build a little bit of heat in the legs. And even as that heat starts to build, keep your breath fluid. Keep your breath soft and smooth. Get one more big breath in. Sit a little deeper, exhale. Rise up to one leg mountain pose. Inhale, right leg lifts to hip height. One leg mountain pose. Stay here. Firm your outer hips in. Lengthen up through the sides of the waist. Exhale, fly your arms back. Kick your right leg back. Degasana, airplane pose. Point your right toes down. Level your hips. Find length from the ball of the back foot through the crown of the head. Pinkies towards the midline. Exhale, drop your right toes to the back of the mat. Lower your back knee down. And wiggle your front toes forward until the knee and the ankle line up in space. Inhale, arms up. Just one time here. Exhale, open elbows wide. Drop your hip down. Push off your front foot. Inhale. Exhale, slide your left hand down your left hip. Right arm goes up and over for the side bend. So lengthen the tailbone down. Lift up through your heart. Take your thumb back. And feel the stretch from the right knee all the way to the right fingertips. Exhale, right hand to the floor. Turn your palm out just a smidge to the right so there's a little bit of a 45-degree angle or so. Roll the right shoulder back. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Open up for the twist. Hug your left knee in towards the midline. Lean back. Push down big toe side of your front foot. Find that twist. And then from here, roll to the pinky edge of your back foot. Stack your feet so left foot stacks over the right. You're in side plank. Again, your option here is to drop the right knee down. To modify, if you have wrist sensitivity, lower down to the forearms. Okay? So find your side plank, your Vashisthasana. And here, spread the fingers of the right palm, push the floor away, lift through the outer right hip, stay, or left leg lifts. Hold here for 3, 2, flex your feet, reach out through your heel, and 1. Left hand down, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, up dog, exhale, down dog. Look forward, lift your heels, exhale, bend your knees, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise to stand. Hands to your heart. Weight back into the heels, chair pose. Good, stay for a breath. Inhale, lengthen, back off. Exhale, sit deeper. Inhale, one leg mountain pose, left leg lifts. And we'll pause here and refine this pose. So when you're standing in one leg in an imbalanced pose, balance pose, firm that outer left hip in. So we don't want to just sag and sink into the hip of the standing leg. Firm that in. Stand up tall, lengthen from heel to fingertips. Exhale, take your left leg back for airplane pose, Degasana. Pinkies towards the midline. Lift your chest, a little up dog in the chest. Push out through the ball of the back foot. Exhale, step your left foot back, lower back knee to the floor. Adjust your stride if you need to. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your heart. Drop your hip down and forward. Push off your right foot, inhale. Exhale, slide right hand to right hip. Left arm goes up and over. Take the side bend. So you're side bending over, but you're also rotating this left shoulder back, lifting your heart, finding that stretch. Gaze up if that feels good for your neck. Exhale, left hand to the floor. Option if the floor feels far away to slide a block if you have one underneath your left hand. All right, from here, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, send your right arm up. Open arm twist. And we have this tendency just to roll to the pinky edge of your right foot, firm down to the four corners of your right foot so the knee stays in line with your right ankle. And rotate your toes to the right. So you're on the pinky edge of your back foot. Step your right foot back, stack the feet. Vashisthasana, side plank. And option to stay here, option to lift the leg, option to drop the knee down to modify. Or modify and lift the leg. And let's hold here for 3. Good, fingers spread wide. Engage your legs, press out through your heel. 2. Exhale, right hand down. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step or hop your feet to the top of the mat. So big toes to touch, little space between the heels. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. And hands to your hips. Inhale, rise to stand. With a flat back, hands by your sides. Ground down through all feet. Inhale, lengthen your heart. Up and forward. Exhale, settle in. Place your left hand to your left hip. Again, stay facing the front of your mat. I'll just turn to face you. Turn your right toes out for tree pose. So place the sole of your foot to your ankle, your calf, or your inner thigh. Just avoid the knee, so anywhere above or below your knee. And then same thing here, this standing leg, the hip of the standing leg, don't let it sag out to the side. Firm it in. Support here, squeeze everything towards midline, the center, the core, and then from there, hands can stay at the heart or fingertips to the sky or any other variation of tree pose that you like. But push foot into leg, leg into foot, and then stay tall, stay long, breathe well. Good, take Take 2 more breaths here in your tree pose. Ooh. All right. And then bring hands back to heart center. Take your knee, point it forward. YOGALUX. Send your right leg back, fingertips back as well. And then same thing here. Push out through the ball. Lift your chest, lift your leg. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. This time stay high on the ball of the back foot. So shoulders stack right over your hips. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, lower back knee, hover. Cactus your arms. Push off your front foot. Inhale. Exhale, soften down your knees. Left hand to the left hip. Right arm goes up and over. If you can keep your hips nice and neutral, you can start to straighten the back leg. So if you're starting to tilt forward like that, keep a little bend in the knee so the shoulders stack over the hip, over the knee. Okay, one more breath here. Take right hand down to the floor or a block. Spin your heart to the left, left arm up. Get one breath in here. Exhale, turn your toes to the left. All right, side plank again. Option for tree pose side plank, taking your left foot, whoop, place it to the inside of your right thigh and then firm your hip up. Tree pose side plank. An option to stay here, option to traditional, leg lifted, or modified. Get any variation up until this point, feel free to take it. So a fun variation I like to do if I'm in tree pose, side plank, moving into chaturanga is keep the tree pose, left hand lowers, tree pose chaturanga, send your left leg back, upward facing dog, exhale, down dog. And stay for a breath. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, gaze forward. Step or hop your feet, top of the mat. Big toes to touch. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Root down, rise up. Inhale. Hands to heart. Good. Breathe well. One breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Place right hand to right hip. Again, I'll turn to face you for tree pose. Turn your left toes out. Place the sole of the left foot at the ankle, calf, or inner thigh. So, again, anywhere above or below the knee. Settle your gaze on something that's not moving. Maybe the floor, maybe the wall ahead of you. And then firm, outer right hip in. Stay long through both sides of the waist. And all the same principles apply here as when you're in side plank tree pose. So foot to leg, leg to foot, press those two against one another. Firm your hip in, stay long from heel to crown. And hold here for 3, through 2, and then 1. Point your left knee forward, send your left leg back, YOGALUX. Good, so reach out, push out through the ball, lift through your chest, shoulders back, pinkies towards the midline. Exhale, step your left foot back. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, bend your back knee, open your chest. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, bend your back knee, send your right hand to your right hip, left arm goes up and over. So keep that neutral hip. Start to press your heel back, straighten your back leg. Again, notice where your tailbone's pointing. See if you can keep it pointing towards the floor, lengthening down versus tilting back like so. So a little bend in the back knee. If you can keep that neutrality in the hip, press your heel back. One more breath here. Exhale, left hand to the floor or the block. Spin your heart to the right, right arm to the sky. Stay for a breath. Inhale for length. Exhale, rotate toes to the right. Land on the pinky edge of your back foot. Find your Vashisthasana side plank variation. And option for the tree pose here. So right foot, top leg goes into tree pose. Push the floor away. Squeeze your core. Lift up through the outer left hip. Push right foot into the inner thigh into the right foot. Spread your fingers wide. One more big breath in. Right hand down, chaturanga or tree pose chaturanga. Lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Again, tree pose chaturanga, just a fun variation if you want to play around with that. Okay, take one more breath here and down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop your feet. Hips distance apart. Top of the mat. All 10 toes straight forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. Hands to shins or fingertips to floor. Exhale. Fold. Flip your palms. Slide palms underneath the feet. Backs of the hands to the earth. Let your head hang heavy. Make sure the toes reach the wrist creases. We'll stretch our wrists here. In gorilla pose. So chuck your chin a little bit. Take back of the neck. Let it be long. Good. Breathe well. And in these slower, stiller poses, give yourself this time to reestablish your breath. In and out through the nose, a little hug at the base of the throat. Find a little resistance as you pull up on the toes, press down on the wrists. Take another breath here. And slowly release palms from underneath your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Grab a block, place it just in front of your left foot. All right, left hand to your block, and I'll turn to face forward, so you're still facing front of your mat. Peace fingers around the right big toe. So your left hand is on the block. If you don't have a block, fingertips to the floor, just in front of your foot, 6 inches or so. All right, lengthen your spine, inhale. Exhale, shift your weight over to the left. Flex your right foot and lift with the pinky edge of your right foot. So maybe a little, maybe you're here, maybe all the way, right leg parallel to the earth. So wherever you are, hold here. Good. Push out through the ball of your foot. Push out through your heel and lift with the pinky edge. Exhale, release. Right foot down, shake it up. Let's do it again. So we do this so we can strengthen the muscles of the outer hip. We do a lot of pigeon pose, a lot of hip openers, but it's an opportunity just to strengthen that we always give that area of the body. And shift your weight back to the left. One more time, we won't hold quite as long. Right leg up, in a little or a lot. Hold here for 3, 2, and then right foot down. Move your block forward, just aside if it's there. Left hand to the left hip. Keep peace fingers to the big toe, and then bring your right knee to the chest. Rise to stand. Good. You're welcome to stay here. Option 1, right forearm or right palm, right hand can be right in front of your knee. But where we are, again, stand up nice and tall. Stay here, or extend your right heel forward, and then start to take the knee or the leg over to the right. Okay, so you can be here as well. It goes over to the right. You can extend your left fingertips out to the left to balance the weight. Good. One more breath, wherever you are. Inhale back to center. Last time, Degasana. Send your right leg back, both arms back. Airplane pose. Good. Fly that back. One more time. This time, let's go this way. Right foot steps back. Back heel to the floor. Open up, warrior 2. Left toes point straight forward. Get nice and low. So you can work this front thigh parallel to the front edge of your mat. Parallel to the, not front edge, but parallel to the floor. All right, fingers spread wide, reach out through both fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior. Good. Drop your right hand down weightlessly down your back leg, or you like the half bind. Reach for the left hip. Exhale, left forearm to thigh. Reach your right fingertips forward. Side angle pose. Stay here, or if you want to work some core or obliques, reach both fingertips forward. Spin your heart to the right. Okay, reverse triangle. Straighten your front leg. Reach your left arm up and back. And parallel your arms. Triangle pose. Reach past your toes, as far past your toes as you can. Stay long. And then the left hand just drops wherever it naturally falls. Right onto the sky. Triangle pose. Right hand to your right hip, gaze down. Your block should be there if you used it earlier. Grab your block, slide it forward, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Turn your toes to the right. Spin your heart to the right. You can expand in all directions, or take Chapasana like we did in the beginning of class. Bend your top leg, grab your foot, press your hips to the right, and kick your foot back. And then release. Big toes to touch, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Two options, crow pose, because I always have to throw in an arm balance every practice. Option for it, at least. Or take your feet wide, have a seat in Malasana. If you're coming into crow pose, spread your fingers nice and wide. Big toes to touch. Take your knees nice and high on the upper arms. Spread your fingers wide, hug everything in towards midline, shift forward. So you shift forward until the elbows line right over the wrists. Look forward, point your toe back and up, one or both. Hold here for a breath. And then exhale, lower your feet down. Forward fold, hands to the hips, press to stand. So let's release the front of the hips here in a supported back bend, hands to the low back, elbows hug in, lift your chest, hips forward, open your throat. Come on back to center. Hands by your sides. Good. So feet are hips distance apart. And go to the other side. So place your block in front of your right foot, or your fingertips in front of your right foot. So make sure you can see me. Left peace fingers around the left big toe. So find some length. Inhale. Exhale, shift your weight to the right. Left leg lifts. A little or a lot. Firm your outer right hip. Squeeze the outer hips, engage and hug those in. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Again, so peace fingers around the big toe. Shift your weight over to the right. Left leg lifts. Again, doesn't matter how high you lift the leg, but flex your foot, stay long in the spine, push out through the heel. One more breath here. And exhale, come on back to center. Move your block aside. Place your right hand to your right hip. Bring your left knee to chest. Good. So standing up, one leg, big toe pose. One big toe balance pose. Extend your heel forward. Take it to the left. Or place your hand in front of your knee so you stand up nice and tall, and then take your knee to the left. Firm your outer right hip in. Get long through both sides of the waist. Inhale back through center. Exhale, fly it back. Go this way. Fly it back. Open your chest. Drop your toes to the back of the mat. Open up warrior two. Good. Lengthen your stride if you need to. Make sure you're pressing down the pinky edge of your back foot. Gaze over your front fingertips to the horizon. Inhale, right arm lifts up and back. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Side angle pose. Again, if you extended both arms, a little bit of oblique work, do that. Spin your heart to the left. Reverse triangle, straighten your front leg, reach back. Exhale, parallel the arms. Reach past your toes, right hand down, left arm up. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Place left hand to left hip. Grab your block if it's there. Then shift your weight forward for half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Turn your toes to the left, push out through your heel. And then stay long from heel all the way to the crown. Expand in all directions. Option to take sugarcane pose. Bend your top knee. Grab the top of the foot. Open your heart. Lean back. And then release. Bring big toes to touch top of the mat. Move your block aside. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. feet wide, Malasana, your deep squat, or second round of Bakasana, crow pose. You're practicing your crow pose, make sure you're shifting forward again. It's all transfer of weight from feet to hands. Chin off your chest, gaze forward, and round your spine. Hug your belly in for crow pose. Our option again, Malasana. All right, if you're in crow pose, lower your feet to the floor, step back, down dog. Lower your knees down, spread. Take your knees wide, big toes to touch. Find a little rest in child's pose. Good. Again, reestablish your breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. If you need to release a little heat, open mouth exhale. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Just like in the beginning of class, you can wiggle your hips back towards your heels. If your shoulders need a little bit of a rest, you can take your arms back behind you, hands by your hips. Release through your shoulders. One more big breath in. Full breath out. And then, so we'll explore our final variation of Vashisthasana, of side plank, and we'll start to wind it down after that. So plant your palms, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, take a hip roll. And shift your weight forward. We can come into wild thing if you wish. So roll to the pinky edge of your foot, just like side plank. Drop your thing. Get option to stay in your hip roll if you don't want to move into wild thing. Exhale, step your right foot forward between the hands, and then walk your hands along the length of your mat for Skandasana. So Skandasana or Kung Fu lunge. You can stay nice and low here. Guide your knee wide. And then heel down, toes up. Find a hammy stretch in the right leg. Stretch in the back of the leg. Good. And so use this opportunity to stretch the inner thigh to adductor muscle. So again, knee guides wide, so it tracks right over the middle of your foot. If you need support, you can stay up here or hands onto blocks. All right, release your hands down. Walk your hands towards the top of the mat. We'll move into our final variation of side plank. Walk your hands forward, turn your toes to the right. And I'm going to turn this way. All right, so left hand down, spin your heart to the right, open up. Turn your toes to the right, find your variation of side plank. Option for a big toe side plank, so side plank B. Peace fingers wrap around the big toe, roll to the pinky edge, and then you're going to extend your heel to the sky, push out through the outer left hip, reach up. So again, option 4, traditional side plank, modified, tree pose, or leg lifted. So find your side plank. Side plank B, push out through your heel, up and out, reach to the crown of the head, and ground your left hand down. Squeeze all the muscles to distribute the weight evenly across the body and off your wrists. Hold here for 3. So whatever variation you choose, 2. Then a right hand down. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Second side. Exhale, bend your knees, stack your hip, open up. And exhale. Oh, side, wild thing. Shift your weight forward. Roll to the pinky edge of your foot. Drop your left toes behind you. Wild thing. So stay here. Extra breath. Push the floor away. Lift your hips. Gaze back. And then come back around if you're in wild thing. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Walk your hands along the length of your mat to the right. So Skandasana, left side. So stay here, a couple breaths. Guide your right knee wide. So I'm facing away from you because we're going to turn here in just another breath. And one more inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Walk your hands to the top of the mat. And right hand down. Take your twist. Open up, find your side plank, or if you're coming into side plank B, peace fingers around the left big toes, rotate the toes to the left, and then extend left heel to the sky. Oh, my hammies are a little tight. So firm your outer right hip in, reach out through the ball of the foot, and find your variation of Vashisthasana. So any variation of side plank leading up to this point, you're welcome to explore again. If you want to take it down a notch, you can bring your forearm down and just come into modified side plank. Keeping those same principles, heel to the crown, nice straight long line. All right, release your left hand down. Last chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And exhale, lower your knees to the floor. Swivel your feet around, have a seat. Take your feet to the edges of the mat. Just let them rock from side to side. And we'll start to wind it down. Great job. And so we're just going to come to a seated hip opener as we start to wind things down. So we did start to stretch the outer hips. All right, so we're going to come into either Sukhasana or double pigeon. So double pigeon, place the left shin parallel to the front edge of your mat, right shin right on top. So ankle on the knee, those two stack, flex your feet a lot. If you're like me, you have a little bit of tightness in the hips. A lot of times you'll find this little gap here. So support with a block or a rolled up towel or a pillow, whatever you have to use to support and fill that space. This is a little bit too much. Just slide the shin off your bottom shin, and then we're stacking shin in front of shin. Okay, so it's not crisscross applesauce, but most people think. So we want to push the shins out so they're parallel, and then bring the feet to stack right underneath the knees. And after all that alignment stuff, flex your feet. So keep the feet active and flexed. Fingertips behind you to start. Loop your shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall. And if this feels good, stay. If you can keep the back nice and flat, you can start to fold forward a little or a lot. And forearms on blocks are great here too. Keep the sitting bones grounded. So we'll start with right shin in front of left. Get a little support here. And close your eyes, go inside. And then notice that the soles of the feet are pointing up towards the sky. See if you can start to push out through the ball of your foot so the soles of the feet are facing the left and the right. So just like in pigeon pose or figure four, we always want to flex the foot of the bent leg. In this case, both feet should be flexed. It helps protect and stabilize the knee when you're folding in this position. All right. Get 2 more breaths here. Inhale to rise. All right, take your right fingertips behind you, we'll twist to your right. And keep the feet flexed. Inhale for length. Exhale, twist. Come on back to center. We're going to release the front of the hips and switch legs. But release front of the hips with reverse tabletop first. So soles of the feet down. Push into your feet, push into your hands. Lift your hips. Good. Feet hips distance apart. And then lower down, switch the crossing of the legs. So this time, left shin on top of or in front of your right. And so if you look down, you should see a triangle shape of your mat below you. So if you're crisscross applesauce, you won't be able to see anything. So keep the shins parallel to the front edge of your mat. And support here with a block or a towel. And then keep your feet active. Fingertips behind you, grow tall on the spine. Inhale. And then exhale. Stay if this is enough. Or place forearms down, start to fold forward. And I need double blocks here because I'm extra tight on this side. So in this practice, a lot of times we slow down enough that we start to pay attention to nuances and differences in the sides of the bodies. So your practice is great to help you realize that, become aware, and then you can adjust your practice accordingly. So support with blocks if you need it on one side, not the other. So it's just a great way to slow down and pay attention. And accept your body for where it is at that moment in time. So take 2 more long, deep breaths here. Inhale, rise. Reverse plank or tabletop. So soles of the feet down, step on the gas pedals, push the feet into the floor, lift the hips. Or reverse plank, same thing. Soles of the feet push into the ground to lift your hips. Push your hands down, reverse plank. And then lower all the way to the floor. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then soles of the feet to the floor. Bring your heels close to your sitting bones. Tuck the wingtips of your shoulder blades underneath your back. Lift your hips for bridge pose. Now if you have blocks here, supported bridge pose is also there for you if you want to take a more restorative, restful version of this pose. If you're in traditional bridge pose, actively press into the feet. And lift your hips. And then slowly lower down. Get both knees in towards the chest again. If the block is there, move it aside. And then keep hold of your right knee. Extend your left leg long. Take a nice easy twist to release. Neutralize the spine. And exhale. Right knee goes across the body. Take a twist. Keep your upper back flat on the floor. The right shoulder roots down as you gaze over to your right. Close your eyes. Start to soften your breath. And inhale back through center. Bring both knees in towards your chest to reset. And then exhale, left knee in, extend your right leg long. Twist, opposite side. Inhale, center. One more time, knees in. Happy baby, knees wide. Grab outer, inner edges of your feet. Smile like a happy baby. Extend your heels out left and right if you want to add a little movement to this, or just take your knees wide, stay stationary. Tailbone heavy onto the floor, shoulders relaxed back of the neck long. And bring both knees in. Nose to knee, curl up into a little ball. All your breath in. All your breath out. Release Shavasana. So lengthen your legs out nice and long. Wiggle the wingtips of your shoulder blades underneath your upper back. And close your eyes. If you have a towel I just like to place the towel over my eyes. The weight of the towel and the darkness that it provides allows me to drop in a little bit more quickly and more deeply. So find a little part in your lips. Notice the coolness of the air as it moves in and out. Take up a lot of space on your mat. And remind yourself always that for all that you do in the course of your day, for all your efforts in class today, and for carving out this time to show up on your mat and do a little work, that you deserve this time of rest. So take this time, enjoy, and thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice today.